I think the thing about my tenure as board president at La Casa was less about what I did and what I think the organization was trying to say to the larger community by electing me to the position of president of the board. And I think the message was that while La Casa began with a narrowly focused set of concerns about the Puerto Rican community, over time it evolved into an organization that was concerned by the Latinx diaspora, if you will, and others. So I think La Casa was trying to say to the Newark community and beyond that it is diverse in its leadership, it's diverse in its staff, and it's diverse in the communities that it reaches out to in an attempt to assist them, particularly marginalized communities across the region.
Richard is a strategic thinker. And so part of our work was always to think about the future of the organization, particularly in terms of not only the executive management growth, but also the board leadership growth. And I've always admired that. I always think that one of the things that make boards successful is that you're thinking about the future and not just thinking about getting through the day-to-day functions of an organization on a daily basis.
The man was around at the start of community rebellion here in Newark, has been through every change in Newark. He's always looking forward. How is La Casa gonna be relevant today? How is Newark gonna be relevant today? We know he has that wisdom, but he's always challenging us today. What are we doing today? What's the problem of today? What do we need to fix? How do we look for the future?
Anything that's happening in the city of Newark around community services, civic engagement, leadership development, I think Rich Roper has had a hand in it. Whether it is the Institute for Social Justice, sitting on the board of La Casa de Don Pedro, whether it's the founding of Leadership Newark, a lot of the things that we are struggling with today and are talking about and creating policy for, Richard Roper has been a part of that.
It's hard to capture all that Richard has given to the broader Newark community. When I think of Richard Roper, I think of him in the same breath as luminaries like the late Senator Ron Rice, the late Mildred Crump, the late Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver. So many people who have helped to build the very foundation on which we stand. And Richard Roper's blueprint is built into the DNA. And that blueprint has always been, I think, about pursuing racial justice, about pursuing creation of a system that would connect the most marginalized people to the very best of our state, to its prosperity.
I think he led by example in the sense that he was someone we could look to, my brother and I, as a role model, someone who valued community, who valued his family, and was always willing to put in the work. He got involved in a lot of organizations, including La Casa. And he didn't just get involved in organizations, he was leading those organizations. And we saw that, obviously. And we saw the level of respect that he got from his peers and the relationship that he built over time. I believe that was critical for him in order to help foster the dream and make the dream real.
My father's legacy of civic responsibility has shaped my view of civic responsibility by making sure that you're really engaged and you really have to follow through in your commitment to community. To get where we are now is because of the efforts of others within our community and those who help our community.
I have witnessed firsthand the person that he is. I know Richard to be a man of great faith, but not faith just in the religious sense, a man of great faith in people, particularly those he mentors. Right? He believes that they could do greater things. Richard, to me, is that beacon, that watermark, that high standard of board service that I try to aspire to.
I mean, Richard has had a career that has spanned just about every single essential element in terms of community development and community improvement, whether it's cultural, political, economic. His work has just been inimitable and relentless in terms of enhancing, generating, sustaining so many different institutions and organizations that have been to the benefit of our community as a whole.
Well, I hope when people reflect on my role in Newark and at La Casa, they remember someone who wanted to make a difference, who brought to bear the skills and the intellectual resources that he had to bear in search of solutions for the problems and the challenges that marginalized communities, particularly Latinx and Black communities, confront in our society. That's the legacy, that I try to make a difference.
But I think that's, to me, his lasting legacy of always looking at what's the future, what are the issues of today.
And I can't imagine who we would be without Richard Roper. And I'm excited to see the way in which we continue to do the work from the foundation that he built.
Means that the work that he's done or is doing even still today has had a long-lasting impact on generations and generations to come.
I'd like to think his legacy continues through the actions I've taken, and at this point it's not something that I have to do, it's something that I feel, and I think that's the aspect of his legacy that carries on.
I think what future generations of leaders can learn from Richard is that we should not be bound by race, ethnicity, or place. We can contribute to the things that we care about because of our passion for service, our passion for social justice, our passion for improving the lives of others.